Football fans. Football fans. This is
Calling
Apollo
all football
Media.
fans.
Football fans. We're back. This is different. This is going to be a little different name, a little different logo, a little different feed. We're going to call this Play Action Takes. A little PAT action.
PAT.
Yeah, action takes. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
So this is Apollo's NFL show. It's going to have its own freestanding feed, and it's going to show up on Apollo HOU YouTube. So if you're on the YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. Give us a little comment.
Please.
Tell us about how hurt you are that Aaron Rodgers is now gone for the season.
Yeah, what the fuck is that all about, man?
Not great.
I was really, really looking forward to that. That sucks.
I think, look, if you've been watching our shows or listening, I've been a big Jets guy. Been really high on the Jets. Watching Aaron when he had to go and sit down, like he stood up for a minute after the play, was trying to feel, his legs, see what it was like. And when he went to sit down, and seeing that happen was one of the saddest football moments of my
Well, you
entire
know what
life.
he did? He got up, got injured, obviously, got up, stood there, didn't move around, just looked at the sideline and shook his head no, and then got down.
Yeah.
Like he was just in his head. He was like looking at him like, I'm fucked up.
Yeah, he's
I
done.
just fucked something up, dude.
And
It's really, really tough to see. I heard someone who went to the game. I saw a TikTok and they were like, I've never been to a quieter stadium than that. It was a quiet, just silence after that.
injuries are just the absolute worst, no matter who the team, no matter who the player. The New York Jets had literally all of the hype from this offseason.
Yeah.
All of it. Just due to having Aaron Rodgers on the team now, which is it's a big deal. You'd love to see that for the Jets. They they've got the defense, they had some weapons, and then they finally got a quarterback. That's all they needed. That was the missing piece, and it's Zach Wilson's team again.
Yeah, which if you want to say your hot take that you told me at lunch, you can go ahead and
Yeah, I mean,
Oh.
I think I have a hot take. I think this team is so talented, and Robert Saleh said it in his press conference. He's like, I get he's Robert Saleh. Of course, he's going to speak highly, but he's like, I don't know why everyone's writing the obituary for us right now. And I agree. I think there's so much talent on this team. I think Zach Wilson going into year 3, he looked poised. He looked ready. He got thrown. There's never been a quarterback thrown into a fire more than Zach Wilson was thrown into a fire on that Monday night. And he still came out, played okay. Dude, what has been more? No, not even. Everyone, all offseason, Aaron Rodgers is the second coming of Jesus Christ in New York. 75 seconds of gameplay. Everyone's been shitting on Zach Wilson for the first 2 years of his career. Comes in and then leads. Look, I know it wasn't perfect, but still led that team to a win, an overtime win against the Buffalo Bills. Look, dude, if they're able to do some stuff like that, especially with Zach Wilson getting all the reps, first-team reps in practice all week, I think this team could still win 10, 11 games, which with that roster.
The defense is just absurd. The defensive line is the worst thing I've ever seen because I'm so terrified for that as a Dolphins fan. But the Jets, they look good. They can win games. Last year, this exact same team, essentially without Dalvin Cook, went, what did they go, 7-10?
Yep.
There was no Aaron Rodgers, and there's no offseason hype and all of that. And they added a few wide receivers, I guess. Randall Cobb, your ID still worked to get into the building? I don't know.
Maybe they might turn him off since Aaron's out for the
Yeah.
season.
I think he'll just kind of turn him into like a healthy scratch every game, and he'll be hanging
just
out.
there.
I think he'll be a leadership. He's been in the league a long time, played some really good football. He'll just talk to the young guys, coach them up.
I
Good
don't
for the wide
think
receiver
11
room.
games. I don't think 11 games is gonna be possible for them. Their O line looked. Stoney, you were talking about it. Their O line
Not
is
great.
dog shit.
Not
It's
great.
cock. It's terrible.
Their O-line's pretty bad.
I mean, it's bad. People were saying on TikTok, they're like, that injury was on Aaron. I don't think so.
No,
Play, I mean, obviously you had Garrett Wilson open, but Leonard, I think it was Leonard Floyd, just ran over Dwayne Brown. And Dwayne Brown's 38.
Yeah.
Well, and this is I found
That's a
this
problem.
I found this very interesting. The reason that happened, the reason Dwayne Brown got lit up, is because it was supposed to be it was going to be a chop block, and all of OTAs, all of training camp, the report was, I think this was from the Athletic, Miss Rossini from the Athletic. I can't think of her first name at the moment. Mentioned that Aaron has had a big issue with them doing these kind of blocks all training camp. He was like, I don't like that they're doing that. I don't like that. It's not the type of protection I want. And on that play, it was a chop block. Dwayne Brown tried to go for it, didn't work, and that's what happened to Aaron. Listen to Aaron.
Yeah,
Listen to Aaron.
and Aaron's reasoning on that, not just because he didn't like that type of protection, it's because he wants to be able to do free form, free flowing football. If he
Yep,
needs to run out of the pocket, he can do that if you just have normal pass protection. Whatever they ran in Green Bay obviously worked for years.
of
And it
course.
literally took 4 plays. 4 plays.
Such a shame.
Sucks, man.
And
It didn't even feel real when it was happening. It was like, he sprained his ankle. I was like, sprained his ankle, coming back in halftime to lead a comeback. Perk Rogers is back. No, Cart came out and he was done, dude.
Yeah.
It sucked.
and as a Dolphins fan, I know people probably thought I was cheering for it. I wanted the Dolphins and the Jets to square off. Like I was excited about that matchup, getting another shot at Aaron Rodgers because he ruined my Christmas day last year. Would have been nice, but he's gone for the season. And Zach Wilson's team, Robert Saleh, said it like right after the game. He basically was just like, yeah, Achilles snap, pop, gone, we're fucked.
Mhm.
Zach Wilson, here you go,
Yeah.
bud. So
Yep.
not what you want to
It
hear
was-
as a
it
Jets
wa-
fan.
He just came out and immediately, because obviously everyone wants to know. The first question he was going to be asked, he came out and nipped it in the bud. He was like, "Look, dude, Aaron's done. It's not looking good. Zach's the guy." And look, I'm not saying Zach Wilson's going to be a phenomenal quarterback this year, but I think with the help he has around him, and I don't even think that offensive line is that bad. It's not good, but it's definitely they have pieces. They have some guys who can put something together. They're probably going to be a 20, ranked 20s unit wise, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as people are talking about. And I don't think the Jets season is over at all. And the way the Bills looked,
Yeah,
I know it's week
we need to
one.
talk. We need to talk about the Bills real quick before we
Yeah.
get into the week 2 slate. The
Yeah,
Buffalo
they
Bills
looked-
are officially under surveillance. Officially.
Josh Allen and the Buffalo Football Bills, you were under surveillance. What the fuck was that, dude? Because we
So
talk about the whole thing is like Josh Allen turns over the ball a lot. It's like, yeah, but he has a lot of touchdowns, dude. They win
Thankful
games.
for it.
Doesn't matter. Did they win that game? No. Did he throw a lot of touchdowns, run a lot of touchdowns? No. Do you throw a shitload of interceptions that have a crucial game-losing fumble or game-tying fumble or whatever it was? Yeah. You had all that. Yeah, it's bad. Not good.
So the Buffalo Bills have been able to get by on a decent defense, above average defense over the last few years, and Josh Allen improvising and scoring touchdowns. That's just what he does. He turns the ball over, he's going to get you a touchdown. If he loses one game, he's probably going to win the next 3. It's usually how it goes, right? Josh Allen, elite quarterback, big contract. He has been in the Mahomes tier. He's been in the Burrow tier. Like that's where people have been putting him over the last few seasons. The Buffalo Bills, you can't rely on Josh Allen right now.
No.
What are you going to rely on?
They really have to get that run game going, I think.
And that's another thing I wanted to bring up. They've spent, I think, 2 third-round picks, a second-round pick, and they traded for Nyheim Hines and signed Damian Harris. They've invested a lot in running back, and James Cook is probably the best one, and he's fine.
Yeah,
that's all they have.
He did okay.
He's their best back, and like you said, he's fine. And so if Josh can't get it together, because you got Stephon Diggs out there who had a good game. I mean, I don't know what his line for receiving yards was.
He had like 90 something yards.
You take that, right? But it's if Josh. Here's the deal about this Buffalo Bills team. If Josh Allen isn't playing his A game, the Bills aren't playing their A game. And that goes for most teams with their quarterback, obviously. But Josh has got to get it together. He's spending too much time with Haley Steinfeld, I think. And
damn, in her,
I
you
agree.
said?
with
Okay.
her.
Oh, you said in her. I'm like, damn,
dude.
Well, I don't know if I said that. Did not. Damn, it's not that kind of show.
You said it.
I thought you said it. I'm sorry.
What do you think?
All right. All right.
Let's just say that the Bills had a stinker against the Jets last year in MetLife, where Josh Allen basically tore his UCL, and no one really said anything about it. So this could just be the Jets could just be a Josh Allen killer, and we don't know anything about it. We'll have to wait and see till next week. So before we get into next week, let's just give a little shout out to Sweet Green. You know, the Jets won a game. They wear green. Sweet
They
Green.
do.
Use code Apollo HOU5 for $5 off your first order on the mobile app with sweet green. The hot honey chicken, I want that at like my funeral. I just want that
I
served
needed
as
that. I
as a
eat that
platter.
every day. I
Yeah,
eat it every day.
it's delicious. The kale Caesar salad, always a go-to. You just get a little chicken on
Yeah,
there, the Parmesan crisps.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. I had the elote bowl yesterday.
ooh, great.
It's unreal. It's unreal. I added banana peppers. That was a good
Oh,
move, I think.
that sounds
Yeah,
delicious.
no, it was really good. Um, but yeah, shout out Sweet Green. Also, before we move off the Jets, I just want to give a shout out to Xavier Gibson. Um,
Yes.
returned the punt there at the end to win the game. Hard Knock star. One of the best parts of the whole season was him finding out he made the team. They were kind of doing the thing where they call him in. They're like, it's hard to make the team, all this and that, and they gave him, and he was so pumped. What a way to start your career! I went to Stephen F. Austin, just down the street. Shout out, dude! Big time play.
Yeah, good for the Jets. Maybe they're one of 7 wins this year. Um, Moving on, week 2. We're gonna run through it, and
Yep.
I want a little rapid fire here, boys. So
All right.
Thursday night football, Vikings at Eagles, prime time. Primetime Kirk
Yeah.
is back. Eagles defending Super Bowl runner-ups. Seems like a layup based on how the Vikings looked last week.
Yeah, Vikings did not look good. Eagles looked good. Primetime Kirk, basically everything you just said. The formula's there. Eagles all day. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Yeah,
Even though I do love Kirk and the Vikings, they don't have enough firepower to get it done. That's what I think.
yeah, I mean, if the Vikings play anything like they did against the Buccaneers, I mean, the Eagles are going to have a field day with them. So the Eagles are only 6-point favorites, and I honestly can't believe it's not like 8 or 9. To be honest,
The Eagles' defensive line is just horrifying. How like
it
Jalen
doesn't even make
Carter's
sense.
just running free at the end of the game last week. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know what you do with it.
Unfair. I'm kind of pissed about it because it's pretty unfair, dude.
Well,
You
you
know,
just draft a bunch of Georgia Bulldogs.
Maybe Goodell needs to step in, dude. Fucking, they're good.
They're just delightful. So with the early slate, we'll move on. Raiders and Bills. Jimmy G, the Vegas Raiders at the Bills. The line is 9.5 in favor of Buffalo.
Yeah, that's pretty
steep.
crazy line.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy spread. I really don't see the Raiders winning this game though.
I don't either. I don't see the Raiders winning. I didn't hate what I saw from them week 1 against the Broncos. They got it done. Jimmy knows how to win, but I think the Bills definitely going to be looking for a bounce back. They're going to fix some things up. I think the Bills are going to look more like the Bills that we know. I think they win by. I think it'll be close-ish, but I think they win by like 7.
I think it'll be close until like middle of the fourth quarter, and then they just kind of go on a run. They score 10, 14 points and shut the Raiders out at the end, and then it becomes that 2-score game like the line is predicting.
That has 27-20 written all over it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Or 27-17.
Ooh, a little spicy, a little covered. Good teams win, great teams cover.
Yep.
Can't say that the Bills are great yet, but maybe after this week, you never know. Another great game. We finally got a really good game here in the noon slot. The Ravens at the Bengals. Could be a great game, could be a gross game based on last week, what we saw out of both teams, really.
Yeah, both those offenses were struggling. So
the line is minus 3.5 in favor of Cincinnati. Joe Burrow played football for the first time like all summer, essentially, last week. So maybe 1 week of shitty football and he's back. Last year they did the same thing. They went 0-2 to start the season. They looked like garbage, and everyone's like, maybe we need to write off the Bengals. Turns out they're pretty good. Ravens offense looked great, but no J.K. Dobbins. So,
yeah, I got the Ravens winning. I think Joe's going to need another week to kind of figure it out, but I think I have the Ravens winning, but I think the Bengals are going to be fine. It's just like I said, Joe's been hurt and also didn't play a snap in the preseason. Obviously, he's rusty.
Yeah, Bengals all day for me. Only because I really want them to win. Also, Joe is now the highest paid player in the NFL. The internal clock inside his brain is about to switch. He's about to go into kill mode.
Yeah,
he has to, because if he has another loss, another bad week, he might get put under surveillance. Like he's the highest paid player in the NFL right now. If he has another bad week, he might go under surveillance. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, he just did it last year. It's the exact same thing. You get through September, they sleepwalk. October, they wake up.
Yep,
that's true.
So I'm not going to be with you on that surveillance call, on that surveillance pulling up the cameras and everything on Mr. Joe Burrow, highest paid player in
Mm,
NFL history. Good for him. Uh,
no.
I think it'll be a close one. It's a divisional matchup where both teams hate each other. I think Cincinnati
Yeah.
squeaks one out. I think the Ravens defense is a bit suspect, but we haven't been able to see that because they played the Texans last week, who has a rookie quarterback and offensive line troubles and all that kind of stuff. No offense, Texans
Right.
fans.
That's
Um,
okay.
an interesting matchup here. Oh, Mr. Patrick Mahomes is heading down to Jacksonville, Florida, to play against Trevor Lawrence. So the Chiefs and the Jaguars.
Very interesting. I was just looking at it earlier, and I was like, that could be one of the interesting
Damn, this
games.
Tony and Jim on this game too. It's a CBS game.
It is, and
gonna be
Kansas City is
exciting.
favored by 3.5 on the road.
Yeah, that's a good spread. Man, so if Kelsey's back, which I believe he is, and if he's healthy, Chiefs should take care of business. But that's the X factor right there. Is Travis Kelsey going to be okay? Is he going to be himself? If he's not, he's held to 2 catches. This might be Jacksonville, man.
I got Jacksonville winning. Calvin Ridley puts up 150 receiving. T. Law is a good game. Evan Ingram touchdown. Good game though, but I think Jacksonville squeaks it out.
This is Chris Jones will be back, according to Andy Reid. Andy Reid is
Yep.
easing Travis Kelsey back into practice this week. I would assume
Yeah.
that
Kelsey's
he's going to
gonna
be
play.
back. How much we see of Kelsey, is he going to be kind of held back a little bit like Jalen Waddle was in the first week due to
Yeah.
offseason injury? It's going to be tough to say. I think Patrick Mahomes is probably pissed off from last week, not winning opening night of football, trophy presentation, all ring day,
front of
whatever it
everyone.
was. Yeah,
Yeah.
and this it's the Jim Nance, Tony Romo call probably. So yeah, I'm going to take the Chiefs.
I don't know.
I think it's going to be like a 20-17 game though. It's going to be a slugfest.
Yeah, I see Kansas City 9 times out of 10 winning this game.
Yeah.
They're just still those guys, you know. And Patrick coming off a loss, like you said, not winning on trophy night, not winning on the banner night. It's gonna come. It's whoever he was going to play next was going to get it. They're going to get it hard.
Yeah, this is 2 of the top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC. It's going to be a battle. It's going to be great.
I'm just
What'd you
glad
just
we're
say?
getting good noon games, you
2
know?
of the top 4 or 5 teams in the AFC. Jacksonville is easily at least top 5.
I mean, if Jacksonville just wins the division, they're automatically a top 4 seed. So yes, that would make sense.
Yeah. I just think even on pure skill, even outside of that there, but different conversation for a different time.
Chargers at Titans. Justin Herbert and new look offense with Kellen Moore looked great on Sunday. Titans looked like poo-poo. I don't know.
Like doo-doo.
Bad.
Like poo-poo. Couldn't do anything. They suck. Ryan Tannehill's terrible. He might get benched this game.
And if Malik Willis comes in to play against that Chargers D, he's fucked, dude.
The Chargers defense that gave up 36 points last week.
Yeah, that's the thing. The Chargers
defense
didn't look very good.
is, but also they're playing your electric offense. I mean, like the Dolphins is the best offense in the league. I don't blame them for the fact they didn't put up fucking 50 is crazy.
I agree. Chargers at Titans. Could either be like an electric Mike Vrabel game where he just coaches that defense up and stops Justin Herbert, or Justin Herbert throws for 400 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah,
that's the 2 scenarios that we got going
off this week for sure.
Yeah, I'd expect so. Chargers favored by 3 in this game. I'd expect LA to come home with a win in Tennessee, but they're traveling east, so you never know. But they only got to go to Central Time, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh.
Another game in the noon slate: Packers at Falcons. Desmond Ridder just does not look like an actual quarterback, and Jordan Love does. So that's what I'm basing that off. Green Bay's favored by 1.5 in this game in Atlanta.
Well, what's funny about Desmond Ridder is, I forgot who said this the other day, but it's so true. It's like Desmond Ridder is exactly what he was in college. He does absolutely nothing impressive, but just kind of wins games for some reason. Like he's just out there. Like he'll beat the who they play last week? Sorry,
the Panthers.
The Panthers, like they'll come out, beat them 24-10, but Desmond Ridder just doesn't do shit. But that's just kind of what he's always done. So
didn't he throw for like 118 yards last week against the Panthers?
Nothing impressive.
Jordan Love
he had
like
great 30 yards going in the fourth quarter. Is kind of crazy.
But the Packers The fact that this is a 1.5, the Packers are only a 1.5 favorite blows my mind.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
The Packers looked extremely polished last week.
They look
and I know
good.
they're playing the Bears. They looked fucking really good.
Yeah.
Very good. The Falcons, they looked okay. They played the Panthers. Like, I really expect Jordan Love to just have a really good game and the defense to stop the Falcons. And they win big, I think. I
Yeah.
think they cover big time.
Yeah, I think the Packers just go in and mess around with the Falcons. Bijan probably gets a couple of highlight plays. Algier probably does the same thing, but I think that's the extent of the Falcons' offense, and I don't trust the defense. Jesse Bates is good,
Yeah.
but they played the Panthers last week, where you can't take anything away from them yet.
Yeah.
Moving on to up north with my Coach of the Year candidate, Dan Campbell. The Seattle Seahawks are taking on the Detroit Lions. Another good noon game, potentially, although the Seahawks just got trounced last week. So I don't
Yeah, they
really
got
know what to
embarrassed.
expect. Lions got extra rest. They played on Thursday night. I'm taking they're favored by 5.5. That's a fairly big spread, even though they're at home.
They're covering easily.
Yeah, extra rest to start the season. Seahawks got trounced in the first game. Lions should just take the
Big home opener. The hype is real in Detroit.
Yeah.
They're gonna be like sold out. The place is gonna be loud and popping. Yeah, the Seahawks, as much as I like them and their vibe, they just do not. They're gonna be embarrassed again this week. It's gonna be honestly a very embarrassing 0-2 to start the season off for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think the Lions beat the Seahawks by. Honestly, I'm gonna guess 17. I think it's at least 17. They're beating.
That's a blowout.
I think they wipe the floor with the Seahawks. The Lions are sneakily just like one of the best teams in the league. Maybe not even sneaky anymore, and the Seahawks are not good. The Seahawks are not a good football team. I guarantee it.
It's not voting well.
I've been saying it. They're just not good.
Predictions, but things happen. I'm taking the Lions as well in this. Jared Goff throws for 250 plus, and Jahmyr Gibbs, give him the ball more, please.
Please,
fantasy owners.
They got to hear the noise. They hear that noise.
Amon-Ra is going to catch 18 balls.
He's so good.
Everywhere, yeah. It's going to be one of those.
Mm-hmm.
So Lions cover.
I'll let you boys take this one away. I know you're going to preview it on Off the Gridiron, the Apollo Texans podcast. Go check that one out if you're a Texans fan. But Colts at Texans. Colts are only favored by 1 point.
Yeah, when that opened up, the Texans were a favorite by 1.5.
Okay, so money's going heavy on the Colts. Anthony Richardson looks like a problem, but you have Will Anderson, potential Anthony Richardson stopper. He can keep up with him.
Yeah, I think so. I think Will Anderson, he had a very impressive outing against the Ravens. I think he's only going to get better, and I think in this game, I don't think the Colts offense is as good as the Ravens offense. So I think Will Anderson's going to show out, him and Jonathan Grenard. I think this defense is going to give Anthony Richardson fits.
Yeah.
They're going to give him fits.
I think the Texans win. I think it's a good game, though. I think it's a good game. Battle of the rookies, the quarterbacks. I think this is going to be a really good game, but I think the Texans will pull it out. Well, like I said, we'll talk about it more on Off the Gridiron, the Texans pod.
I think it'll be fun. Anthony Richardson's going to be fun to watch. It's got to suck to play against him twice a year for the rest of time, essentially.
Yeah, it's going to be.
But you've got C.J. Stroud, and then the Jaguars have Trevor Lawrence. Like, this is a fun division. You've got 3 young quarterbacks going to vie for the division title over the next 10 to 15 years. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the Texans also win. D'Amico Ryans, he's going to coach that defense up. The way that y'all looked last week against the Ravens up until late in the fourth quarter, you could tell that the coaching has been working, which is all you want to see. But check out Off the Gridiron. Get some more in-depth Houston Texans stuff. Garrett and Noah here. They got you. They've got a old Schwab jersey there in the background.
We're gonna let you know what's up.
For some reason. Last game of the noon slate: Bears at Buccaneers. Bears are bad. Buccaneers not as bad as we thought. Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
Garrett's boy.
Yeah, he said some shit about the Houston baseball Astros earlier. It kind of pissed me off. But I'm not going to let that collapse 5-6 years of support. Love Baker still. I can't wait till he starts off 0-2.
2-0.
Sorry,
yeah.
2-0. That's what I meant.
That would be better.
Starts off 2-0.
Did you see the
2-0.
Did y'all see the clip of Baker in the huddle when they were getting into victory formation? He's like, "Hugs in the shower, boys."
Hugs in the shower.
Yeah.
You see the clip of him when he trucked that dude and
Oh
said, "Get
yeah,
your weight up."
that was good too. Cocky
You saw
Baker
that?
being
Yeah,
back, the Bucks might go
Baker's dogging
undefeated.
it out.
He's back.
He's dogging it out. a little
Dog
bit, man.
Baker's back. Carolina and LA Baker was kind of, no, I'm just here to play. I'm excited to have an opportunity. He's back. Dog Baker's
He's a
back.
starter.
Yeah.
He's won the locker room over. Dog Baker. He's back.
Yeah, the Bucks are favored by 2.5. That's a 7-point game, pretty easily. I think the Bears just aren't good.
Bears aren't good, and if you're one of these people in the offseason, anybody listening who was hyping them up for some weird reason, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be just forgiving the city of Chicago that much hope that they just wasn't warranted. It was tough.
It's just poor Chicago fans.
Yeah.
Afternoon slate starting at 3:05 Central Time Zone, aka God's Time Zone. Got the Giants at the Cardinals. Giants are favored by 5.5. They scored 0 points. They were the only team not to score in Week 1. But they're playing the Cardinals, so that's good news for you guys. Congrats on the win.
Dude, I don't know though.
I don't either.
Dude. Like if I don't know because the Cardinals didn't even look that terrible against the Commanders. The Commanders just eked it out. They were leading at half. If the Cardinals are leading at half against the Giants, I could just be sitting there going like, they might just win this game. And if they win that game against the Giants, New York Football Giants, just the most under surveillance, possible, dude.
Yeah,
crazy.
Yeah, it'd be rough. Saquon should do things against this defense, and if you can if Saquon does things, then you should be fine. Dallas just had a stop for Saquon eventually. He was doing well in the beginning, and then Dallas's defense is crazy.
It's unfair for us to judge the Giants yet. I think just coming in Week 1 Sunday Night Football and playing that Cowboys defense, that's a tough way to open. But they should theoretically blow the Cardinals out of the water, and if they don't, the surveillance is high. I mean, I think we might have a warrant.
Cameras are coming out.
Yeah.
Moving out west, we have an interesting matchup. Little Shanahan tree. 49ers at Rams. 49ers are favored by 8 points. The 49ers will be in just full force in SoFi. It's just there are no LA fans. However, Shanahan versus McVay usually doesn't disappoint. It's the protege versus the head guy. So Shanahan's offense looked incredible last week, and McVay just killed the Seattle Seahawks with his game plan. Matthew Stafford looks like he has a shoulder again. Be an interesting matchup. These are always fun. The coaching tree matchups are always fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, especially since now we're kind of looking at the Rams differently than we have been for the past few months. But at the end of the day, the Rams just do not have the firepower that the 49ers have.
Yeah.
I mean, if they had Cooper Kupp, we might be talking about a different outcome, but I mean, they don't. So right now, and it's just the 49ers look like the most complete team in football, or top 2. So I expect Niners to take it, but not in a blowout.
Here's the deal:
they'll win by 7.
Yeah, Stafford looked good, the Rams looked good, but that Niners team is going to show them what's up. I mean, Nick Bosa is going to have a field day with Matt Stafford, and it's going to be kind of sad to watch because I like Matt, but he's old and he can't move really. He can just throw, and Nick Bosa is just going to shit on him at least once or twice.
And Nick Bosa literally hasn't done anything this offseason. He's just waiting on a contract and showed up and was like, I'm still the best defensive player in the game, essentially. And Fred Warner was just being sent on third down, free blitz, just to have 5 or 6 guys blitzing the quarterback last week against Kenny Pickett and the Steelers. I'm terrified of the 49ers. I think Matthew Stafford is also looking at that defensive line and linebacker core and be like, all right, boys, can you just give me 1.8 seconds? I don't even need 2.4. I need 1.8, and I'm gonna throw the ball and see what happens. I think 8 points is too big of a spread, but I'm not Vegas.
Yeah,
I was thinking 6.5 would be the line, but 8's a lot, especially on the road, which is going to be a home game because there are no LA fans. But
well, that's the thing. It's not real. It is an away game, but it's not. They're in Cali,
and the 49ers travel well everywhere.
They do. They'll make the trip down there.
It'll be a fun game, coaching tree game. Jets at Cowboys, which was going to be a very, very, very fun game up until 4 snaps into Monday Night Football.
How far we have fallen. How
But this is
we've
still an
gone
interesting
far.
game. Still an
It
interesting
is.
game because the Jets defense is crazy, and we didn't even get to see the Cowboys offense last week, essentially. So I'm interested to see how it works. Dallas is favored by 9 points. That is the Zach Wilson effect, and I can't argue with it.
Yeah. To me, that spread is fine. The line's fine because, I mean, I look at it like this: you can contain Zach Wilson all game long with a good defense. You can do that. You're probably gonna have a hard time containing the Cowboys' offense the entire game.
Yeah.
It's gonna be hard. Zach Wilson's gonna be having trouble trying to get shit off the ground. Dak can do it with CeeDee Lamb and Tony Pollard and all of his guys, Gallup, Brandon Cooks. He's got weapons. So
Yeah.
I just don't see the Jets scoring that many points at all. I don't see him scoring any points.
So the key to the Jets winning this game is really exploit the fact that Dak is very capable of throwing a lot of picks. So, and that's like I said, it's a good defense. If they can just force turnovers, which they can do, we've seen it happen. Josh Allen's a damn good quarterback, better than Dak, and they had him throwing 3 picks. That's the only way. I don't think the Jets win this game. I think this is an L for them, but because that Dallas team is just good. I'm interested to see how that offense, though, like you mentioned, we didn't see Dallas's offense very much last week. Dak had 148 yards passing, no touchdowns, no picks.
They just didn't need
They didn't need it for exactly, and that's true. But they're gonna have to. There's gonna be games where they're gonna need them, and I'm interested to see how that looks. I think that could be a wild card for that Dallas team. It really could.
Yeah, it should be theoretically a fun game just to see what we get out of the Cowboys offense.
Yeah.
Last game of the afternoon slate, Commanders at Broncos in Denver. Denver is favored by 3.5. I'm ready to pull out their surveillance cameras if Denver loses this game.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not gonna lie, they're already under my surveillance.
They've been on surveillance since training camp.
Yeah, even since last year, seeing Russell playing, I know it was like maybe it wasn't his fault. Nathaniel Hackett was pretty bad. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Fucking Russell was very fucking bad last year. He played okay the first game again with Sean Payton as his coach. If they lose, especially at home, it's in Denver.
It is. It's in Denver.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's like I'm having a fucking stakeout.
And you've got a great defense. Great defense, good running back, okay wide receivers that can't stay healthy most of the time. But in Denver, you should be able to win this game against the Washington Commanders team, who's also not very good. Yes.
I'll give my hot take of the week. I think Commanders win. I think Commanders win that game.
I could see it very much happening. Their defense is crazy.
Their defense is dirty.
Arguably game of the week, once again, Sunday Night Football in Foxborough. Dolphins at Patriots. Miami is favored by 2.5 now.
Yeah, that's
2.5 only is kind of wild. I think the Dolphins they don't run away with it, but Dolphins get this win fairly easily, I think.
I like to think that this game will be closer than we all think because it is Sunday Night Football. And also, the Patriots didn't look bad last week against the Eagles. Mac Jones didn't look bad. We all know how the Dolphins looked. They looked fucking nuts. Patriots defense good. Can they contain Tyreek and Jalen Waddle? I don't think so. I don't think anyone can. Give me Dolphins covering that spread.
You said possible game of the week. It's just it's not gonna be. For you, it could be because the Dolphins are probably gonna win. But game of the week is gonna be that Ravens Bengals game.
Here,
I think that's the lock.
Let me lay out the land here. Bill Belichick defense is going to do better than Brandon Staley's defense last week.
Sure.
He's going to take Tyreek Hill, not necessarily out of the game because you can never take that guy out of the game, but he's going to figure out a way to contain him more so. So Jalen Waddle is going to have a bigger game, and then the running game is going to have to do something. They didn't have to do it last week because they were just like, all right, fuck it, Tyreek somewhere, throw the ball.
Yeah.
It works out. Tyreek's not going to be able to do that, I don't think, against this Patriots defense. Their corners are very good. Their defensive line is very good. It's a Belichick coach team. They're going to take things away. It's going to be a different Dolphins offense, I think. I mean, it's going to be the same, but they're going to have to run the ball. They're going to have to throw shorter passes, I think. So it'll be interesting. And then another thing, you got to see what the Dolphins defense can do. Week 2 of the Fangio defense, and last week it obviously got ripped to shreds. Mac Jones threw for 300
Yeah,
yards last week against an Eagles defense who's also
he
very
did.
good. So I
Yeah.
think this game has a potential to be a very good game, but it could also be a blowout. Tua's undefeated against the Patriots, so that's all I know. He's 4-0.
Dolphins winning.
Sure. I could see Dolphins are winning. I can see the Patriots just making it really interesting, though.
Yeah.
Like you said, Patriots defense, Belichick defense is always like they do some crazy shit, some crazy coverages where it takes out some really special guy in their offense. Also, I'm looking at Patriots D line versus Dolphins O line. That's going to be like a huge factor in the game for me because if y'all can hold them, if y'all can just keep Tua okay, y'all will win the game pretty easily.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Monday night, we got a double doozy, a double dipper.
Yeah, I don't know about the
Saints?
matchups though.
Yeah, no, it's
I mean,
going to be gross.
That's a
But
good game.
2 games on Monday Night Football, never going to turn it
still
down.
fun.
Saints
Yeah,
at
still fun.
Panthers. Saints, meh. Derek Carr. Panthers, meh. Bryce Young. That's
Now, I do
That's the
think
extent.
Derek Carr is still badass because I mean
Mm.
it's funny because you always forget that Derek Carr is actually pretty cool until you see him like talking shit and do shit and like when he was mic'd up. I don't know if you saw it when he was doing like the Sheed go route and fucking he was like telling him like just freaking run, dude, just finish this. And he threw a go route and basically sealed the game, won the game, and he was running down the field like boom, yeah, in a crazy Texan accent. And I was like, all right,
Now, Derek
Derek
Carr is
Carr's
cool in
good.
a way that your youth pastor is cool.
no,
You're like,
you're
he
sleeping.
that
You're
isn't-
sleeping,
look,
dude.
That's not. It's just. It's
That's
so
like pity.
accurate.
That's like you pity them. They're like, haha. You pity laugh at their jokes.
Dude, he
Derek Carr can put down Lone Stars. He's hanging out by the bonfire. He honestly he's
sorry.
talking about.
I like. I'm not even. Dude, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but he's very youth pastory. He's very youth pastory. It's cool. It's cool.
I think he's a
dude.
little bit more rugged than that.
He's a little, but he's like a.
And now you put him in New Orleans.
He'd be
dogging it out
a
over
youth
there.
pastor in West Texas.
You might be dogging it out over there.
I don't know. I think this game's going to be kind of gross.
I don't know what you're saying.
No, but I like the Saints in this game.
I do too. I think I like the Saints as well. Yeah.
They're favored by 3. I think that's the right line. I don't think either of these teams are very good, but I think the Panthers are much worse. So, yeah, first game, 6:15 start time. So we get a little Monday Night Football an hour early, so that's pretty good. And
I don't
second
like
game,
how they start an hour apart from each other.
yeah, no,
what else are they supposed to do?
they should do like an afternoon game,
Make
like
that,
a 4:15.
make that Browns Steelers start at like 8:15 at least.
Do like
or
a
start them-
8:15 is 9:15 over there though.
Okay, I'm just saying like it'd be nice if they could just play earlier
4:15
because I want to watch
start.
both.
4:15, you go home from work early, leave at
Exactly.
4. You miss like opening kickoff and the first drive,
Yeah.
and you get in, you crack open a cold one, you make yourself a mixed drink, got some wings in the fridge. I don't know,
Oh.
spitballing here.
Oh, Stoney.
I wish it was Monday.
You're talking my language, dude. Yeah.
The last game on Monday Night Football starting at 7:15, like you said, hour apart, not great. Browns at Steelers. Cleveland's favored by 2.5 here, which
Yeah, I
after
don't
last
know.
week, I can see why that's the odds, but I don't know. In Pittsburgh on a Monday night, the Terrible Towels are going to be waving. It's going to be interesting. It's a division
This is
matchup
gonna be a
again,
good game.
so it's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm excited for this game.
The Steelers aren't playing the 49ers this week. They're playing the Cleveland Browns. And I know the Browns looked really good against the Bengals, but like I think we've said it a million times, like Joe Burrow and the Bengals kind of always start off the seasons poorly. And the Steelers had to play maybe the best or top 2 team in the NFL last week. But Monday night in Pittsburgh, I'm fucking love the vibes of the Terrible Towels. I want to fucking get a yellow towel too. That seems fun. Give me the Steelers, baby. What's the line? What's the cut? What's the spread?
2.5
Browns are
in
favored
favor of
by
Cleveland.
2.5 points.
Fucking Steelers. They cover. Money line. Fucking Steelers. Steelers all day, baby. It's all about the Steelers.
I
This is gonna
can't
be a
get
good
the
game.
I can't get the image of Myles Garrett just dribbling in between his legs before the snap and then just getting right after Joe Burrow out of my
Yeah.
head. That video was just the coolest thing I've ever seen because he's just like,
Myles
I'm going to practice a
Garrett is
different
sadistic.
sport and then sack you in a completely different sport. That's
He's
much harder, arguably.
sadistic.
Yeah, I'm
Sicko.
going to take the Browns until I can't get that video out of my head. They're just going to
Yeah.
go undefeated until I can forget the Myles Garrett crossover before a snap.
The Browns are a fun team for me personally. Other than obviously Nasty
Why?
Man, they're fun. They got dogs over there, man. Like they have a really good team, and no one wants to talk about it. And I get they have a lot of bad press, obviously.
Nasty Man didn't play well last week.
No, he didn't. But that's why I said other than Nasty Man, everyone else on that team is fucking lights out. Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper, Denzel Ward's playing, Myles Garrett, like we mentioned, like they got guys, man. Elijah Moore, good player. Like they're a good team, and I'm excited to watch this game. I really am.
Do you think the Browns should have just kept Baker Mayfield with this team
Yes.
Probably.
Yes.
and not
Absolutely.
paid Nasty Man $200 and whatever $million?
And just
120
casually ruin the QB market for everyone and make everyone
Yeah.
pissed. I think they
See-
should have kept Baker.
Seems like you should have kept your number 1 overall pick that the
Yeah.
franchise and the fans love. The fans still talk about Baker, according to Cleveland. Like everybody's wearing Baker jerseys in the crowd. And
Yeah.
No one's letting go. No one's letting go. They should have just kept him.
Just like helped to win their first playoff game, and I don't even know how fucking long. Like
Yeah.
just like was like whatever, I'm here, and then they went, no, get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good.
Pretty bullshit if you ask
But
me.
also, I will say, I mean, and we as Texans fans, we do appreciate them making that trade though, because that helped
Yeah.
us out a lot in the long run. So it's a give and take.
Yeah, fair. But week 2, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be fun. There's a lot of very good matchups this week. Unlike last week. I think last week was a little bit of a dud, but it was football
Yeah.
and you can get away with that. Week 2 is going to have some bangers of some games. You got divisional matchups. The Sunday night game's good. The Thursday night game could be good. I don't know. Monday night, maybe. But the noon slate looks great. Early slate looks great. So
Yeah, all I ask for tomorrow, well, I guess this will come out tomorrow. So tonight's matchup,
Right.
with the Eagles and Vikings, I just hope that the Vikings bring it. I don't want to blow out. I don't want Kirk Cousins to throw 4 picks and the Eagles reign supreme.
Yeah.
I want it to be like, ooh, this is interesting. I
Yeah.
want the first Thursday night Amazon game with Al Michaels and fucking the other fuck. Okay, who they have the other guy?
Kirk Herbstreit.
Yeah, Kirk Herbstreit. He's okay, but
I
he's
hate
not.
Kirk
I mean,
Herbstreit.
Get him off my
whatever.
screen on Thursday nights.
I fucking can't stand
whatever.
his
I mean,
face.
Al Michaels carries, but
He does.
yeah, let's make it interesting, man. Let's kick off week 2 with a great vibe, great game.
Football fans, week 2's back. It's been play action takes. If you're into sweet green, you like green foods, you like salads, you like warm bowls, use code Apollo HOU5 for $5 off your first order using the mobile app. It's a wonderful place. We love our people over at Sweet Green. Play action takes, boys. Football.
Football. That is the word. Football.
Yeah. Excited for this week, man. A lot of good games coming up. It's gonna be fun.
Love you guys.
Peace.
Watch football.